Alright, morning guys.
Morning.
Yeah. So, you guys aware of the incident that happened on Friday?
Just heard it.
Josh is,
Piece
Yeah.
of-
he told us yesterday after we walked out.
Told you about it a little bit. Okay. So it was over at the I-94 Express, or the new, not the new Exxon, but old Clark's.
Yeah.
Basically, he pulled up, there was a Coke truck that was delivering a load. So he stopped, kind of sat over on the east side and waited for that truck to pull all the way, and the truck just pulled through the garages like he usually does in between the building and the car wash. So he figured it was good to go in there, but it had already been compacted. That snow turned into ice. Pulled in, serviced the container, started to back out, and a car decided to back out behind him, so he stopped. When he did that, his front end kind of slid over a little bit. So he pulled back forward and waited for the car to move, and then he started to back up again. But when he started to back up, he eased onto the brakes and it just slid sideways down that grade.
Which did a long time ago too.
Yeah.
Manager, that's a bad spot, you guys gotta keep it clean.
Yep. So we're really lucky that he didn't roll over a car there. The only damage that was done, and I can show you some pictures as well, is he rubbed up against the sign that's on one post there that is in between Corwin Churchill there, or is that what it is, Corwin? Just cut the sign, didn't catch the pole at all. So, in your guys' minds, would that be a preventable or unpreventable?
Unpreventable.
Very good. Why is it unpreventable?
So you slid from the ice.
Cause you knew it was icy in there, and that's all I call it.
Yep, exactly.
I would've.
Yep. So, what are some things that we need to do when something like this happens?
Called it in.
Call it in, okay? And what
I know the manager real well, so I would've went and got him, told him to sand that down, salt that down. Cause they got heated driveways and everything over there.
Yeah.
Turn them on for the car wash to come out. Why weren't they on? That would've melted, but, you know, they got all the damn money over there. They could've had that cleaned up. I've mentioned it before, a couple of years winters, I told that Scott, I said, you gotta keep this clean. This is just an accident waiting to happen here.
Yeah, I see that. How do you get away from it?
So luckily, yeah, they
Cause
salted
you
the
can still
stuff
see
onto
the
it.
salt pellets laying there yesterday when I went and dumped the garbage.
But he backed up a little bit and got pretty much right on the curb, and it freed up the sign. Then they salted it, and then he was able to pull forward and get off of it. So I'm glad that you guys see that the same way.
It's funny, Kurt didn't have trouble with it in there.
Yeah. Well,
Unless-
Kurt may have been there earlier. This was his last stop of the day. He
Oh,
was,
yeah.
some of the other contributing factors of this were the fact that he had already dumped. He was on his way back to the shop and he decided to pick it up and carry it over. Of course, that car played a big role in it. And then there was a truck parked in the no parking area right in front of the exit door of the car wash. So when he pulled in, he had to kind of turn at an angle to get over anyways.
They could be very careful backing out of there because of that car wash coming through there. They're backing their crafts there.
They don't watch either going on.
Nope, well, you can't because it's on, it's controlled by automatic with your,
Oh,
it's pulling you out.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
That's where the dryers are, so
Yeah.
that's where you come out.
I didn't know that one had it automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm glad that you guys see that as preventable, because a lot of times what happens in a situation like this is, especially the person that is driving, they have a tendency of finding a contributing factor as a root cause. And the root cause is usually a behavior or decision. As you said, and I think you're right on spot with it, is the root cause is the driver decided to try to service the container when he shouldn't have. It was a judgment call. This morning I updated it in MAS. This is why it's important, and I wish it would have been done on Friday, but I wasn't here Friday because I had guards. We should update that in the routing comments right away when we have something like this. I put beware uneven surface, icy. You'll see the note when we go to service it as well. But it's basically just as a reminder, hey, this is a potential problem spot. So if there is anything that's in the way, we need to make sure that we take that into consideration. So what's the takeaway, really?
We'll take chances on some of this stuff.
If it looks bad, I'll call it.
Yep,
It's pretty much what I did with the golf course.
yep,
There was no way I was touching the container, because I'm gonna wreck something.
yep.
That's a bad place to back down.
Yeah,
Right,
it's awful.
especially that
Consider
morning
me
at
paid for a
lunch,
golf cart,
Mhm.
and I don't drive a golf cart.
Yeah.
And
I hated that damn spot. I was glad when I seen it go, when I got rid of it.
yeah, you both.
I
So-
hated that place.
So the biggest thing is we have some trouble spots, we know that on our roads, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if we have those trouble spots, let's make sure we get comments in so we can put them into the routing comments. That way, if you do have a swing driver that goes out there to do it, they don't have the same incident. That's part of the communication piece. Pretty good takeaway for that? I think it's a really good example for what we've been going over with the communication and stuff, so. Other than that, let's have a safe day. Eat.